And Isabel, this is not as simple as fake and fact. It is more nuanced than this, but this is the advert published by the Hungarian government in a daily newspaper with 150,000 distribution, one of two adverts published today. And in it are some key claims, which are translated here by our Hungarian team. They say, this, talking about an EU scheme, is about giving anonymous bank cards filled with money to migrants. Migration right at the centre of this spat again. They go on to say this programme is financed by the European Commission, so it's from European taxpayers' money, effectively insinuating you're footing the bill. They go on to say more than 10,000 migrants got financial support this way already, and the EU want to continue the programme. They say that's in line with George Soros, the philanthropist, the billionaire, his resolution. Now, what is going on here? And as I'm saying, it's not a case that this is fake news, although this is, of course, a political advert. Let me just bring up the facts on this case. Do these cards exist? Yes, they do. The EU Commission is funding two cash relief schemes at the moment. One in Greece, they have spent 122 million euros on, they tell me. Over 90,000 beneficiaries here. That is this MasterCard you can see with the EU insignia here, funded by the EU in collaboration with the United Nations. They say this is part of emergency humanitarian aid that they say is cost effective in helping the people who need this help the most in Greece. There's also a scheme currently active in Turkey. Almost 1 billion euros of funding has been put into that, with 1.5 million refugees, making that the largest EU humanitarian scheme ever. But the EU went on to say, yes, these cards exist. Yes, they're part of our humanitarian mission. But no, they are not anonymous. Every single person is registered with these cards. They are checked physically once a month to make sure they are who they say they are. The cards can only be used in the countries they are issued as part of this humanitarian mission. So it is not a free cash card that's anonymous and everyone can use. What of this George Soros link? Well, the EU say George Soros, fine, he might have his schemes, which is true, but their schemes, they say there is zero involvement with or funding from Mr. Soros or any of his organisations. In the Cube, of course, we've been looking into the activity of George Soros. It is true that through his own schemes he funds financial aid for migrants, but the EU making it clear that is separate from what they are doing. So this is not a case of, as I say, fake news. It is more nuanced than that. Yes, there are some factually accurate claims here, but also a lot of spin put on this by the Hungarian government, who we know what a hard line against migration, and in their sights, the EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker.